many finance departments in general contractors companies are using Excel, right? They're using an accounting system. They may be having, they may be using a construction ERP, type of an accounting system, but they're using Excel. And so not only is that creating more and more of these manual processes and potentially human error, it's also a problem called double entry accounting. And double entry accounting, as anybody knows who has been an accountant, takes forever because you're entering in, finance information over here, maybe in an Excel spreadsheet, and then you've got to enter it into your ERP. The way to fix that, or the way to improve that workflow, is to look at automated subcontractor payment mechanisms. And obviously that's what my company does. And that's what we feel we're so good at, because what it does is it eliminates all of those manual processes, and it eliminates double entry accounting, and it eliminates human error. And so I think as more and more finance departments and more controllers and CFOs begin to see the value of digitizing the whole payment, that back office payment management process, you're going to see more and more digital solutions not only be acquired, but more and more are going to be invented over the next several years.
It makes sense. And, I have to chuckle a little bit because we spend so much time on the construction side eliminating this double entry that you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And it seems astonishing that we would just lean back and go, that's okay in finance, especially tied to the financial well-being of the business.
Yeah.
And I think there's a mindset shift that we have to have. And I did like your point earlier about, the younger generations are starting to take the helm in some of these organizations. And I feel that equity conversation is starting to become a bit more meaningful and more common. And I'm hopeful that does extend to, contractor payments, because this is a relationships-based industry. And if you are arbitrarily or deliberately or unintentionally being punitive to your subcontractors or the people that you're working with, even if it's that, that lien waiver exchange that you're talking about,
right.
It just feels like an unnecessary song and dance. If there are mechanisms to ensure that, the contractors and subcontractors, everybody's made whole. That should be the fairness part of it too, as far as helping make sure that you get paid for the work you did and not using some weird trick of accounting to try to sidestep that. And I know not everybody does that, but there are times where
there are examples.
Contentious is where they go, well, you didn't document that right, so I guess it didn't happen.
That's right.
And that's too bad. And I don't want to poke my finger in anybody's eye. I recognize that this is a very nuanced and complex process. But I do still think that, equity extends well beyond just payment terms and just the broader subcontractor, general contractor relationship,
right,
and the contracts we use.
Yeah, because look, the subs that are going to get paid on time correctly for the work that they have done on behalf of the general contractor, those subs want to work for those GCs.
Absolutely.
And the GCs who are lackadaisical and are paying their subs late, or who are paying their subs incorrectly as a result of human error or whatever, those subs aren't going to want to work for you long term. They're going to go find those fair and equitable GCs who are going to treat them the way that they want to be treated and need to be treated, in a respectful way and in a fair and equitable way, as you said.
I just think of an example. I'm not going to name any names or any regions or anything in this one, but I know of a notorious owner, that contractor I know of, that was, we'll just say, pain in the butt. They were a challenging owner to work for, and they were building a lot of stuff that very visible and very high scale. And from what I was told, there was the market price for this work, and then there was the price that all of these subcontractors and GCs in the area applied for that particular owner, because they said, if you want us to work for you, it costs 30 or 40% more, because we know we're going to deal with so much BS.
Yeah.
And I use that example because even though construction is one of the biggest industries in the entire world, it's still also a small industry in the sense that people know each other, people know and build those relationships, and people talk. And if you treat people poorly like that, that gets around. And so you might experience the bad behavior price, or the I don't really want to work for you price, or the I'm not going to work for you price. So here's the $700 billion percentile inflated number
Yeah.
that nobody's ever going to take because they don't want that work,
I mean, listen, labor shortage is one of the biggest challenges facing the construction industry right now today. GCs are finding extremely challenging situations finding labor, whether it's job site labor, subcontractor labor, reliable labor in every, sort of along every step in the supply chain. And if your payment methodology and your payment processes are not fair and equitable, that just adds to the labor shortage and adds to labor challenges that everybody is facing.